Hello and welcome to this video where we'll go into PydanticAI together with FastAPI. I will use FastAPI to serve a PydanticAI model. That will be very cool, and using PydanticAI we will use a Gemini model. The idea here is that how do you combine FastAPI together with PydanticAI, because basically you want to be able to serve your model, otherwise your model will just be, or whatever project you create with LLM will just be a proof of concept that will probably die out and there will be no value out of it. You need to be able to serve it, and the way to do it is using FastAPI to build an API which a frontend afterwards can consume. The frontend that consumes it could be like Streamlit, it could be TypePy, it could be a JavaScript frontend such as Vue, React, Svelte, could be Solid.js, could also be like Rust Leptos, for example, whatever you choose. This is really cool. Let's move on directly into the coding part. I'm here in Visual Studio Code, and let's set up init uv add pydantic-AI, and I need to have uvicorn to work with FastAPI, and I need FastAPI, uvicorn to serve. Let's see, what else do I need? Yeah, I will actually use DuckDB. I will have DuckDB. And what else do I need? Let me see. Python-.pnv, because we need that. And otherwise, Pydantic included in PydanticAI. Let's run this one. And let's do something else. We'll do rm main.py, because I don't want that. I want to have touch. Let's see. We can have, actually, I can do like this. Make did src source cd src, and here I will do touch data models dot py. I need movies underscore API dot py. I will work with movies, and then setup underscore db dot py and utils dot py. Just a few things that we need here, and also I will do touch dot slash dot env. I have dot env here. And starting here, we'll have Google underscore API underscore key. And here, basically, you save your Google API key from Gemini. You have Google AI Studio, Google AI API, Google Gemini API key. Let me just show you here. Yes, here you have Google Gemini API key, and you can click here, get the Gemini API key. And you just follow this link here. You can go into here, setting your API key, or like here, Google AI Studio, AI API keys. Go in here and get your API key, and then afterwards you copy it in here. But very importantly is that it should be called Google underscore API underscore key, or Gemini underscore API underscore key. I will pause the video, and then I will place this one in. Let's create this API to work with Gemini or work with PydanticAI. We can actually go ahead and start with, say, utils. Actually, I want to have a convenience function to work with DuckDB, because I want to have I want to save the data in the database. I'll start there actually. From pathlib import path, and here I'll import DuckDB as well, and then I will have data path equals the path, then the file parent slash data. I will have a data folder as well. Here I will create a data folder, and here I will place my database. And then I will use this data path, and I will create a query DuckDB. Here I'll have SQL code, string, and I will do with DuckDB dot connect to DuckDB data path and go into movies.duckdb. I'll use movies examples. The idea is that I want to be able to put in text input to generate a movie, and then it will automatically generate a movie that will be placed in the database. That is the idea. To do that, we can have here as we create this connection object, and this connection object, we use it to create this cursor. And let's see, cursor equals to con.execute. And here I will put in SQL code. However, it's important that we put in parameters as well. Parameters equals to parameters. And why is that? Because the parameters, I will use it to avoid SQL injection. I will show you how to do that. If you send in any parameters, then they will be used here. I will use it to avoid the SQL injection soon. Parameters equals to none. By default, it's none. But you can put in different parameters and place it in here together with question marks that you can use in con.execute for the SQL code. We have the cursor, and then what I want to do is I want to do SQL code. I want to do something like this. So if SQL code dot strip dot lower, I want to strip that we remove leading and trailing spaces, lower to make it lowercase, and then I will do dot starts with. If it starts with some of the commands or some of these words, select from desk or pragma. If it starts with one of these, then we know that we want to return a data frame. We'll return cursor.df. Otherwise, I will return none. It returns none by default. This is my simple utils function, this query DuckDB, that will help us as a convenience function. Let me do like this. No. Yeah, starting with this convenience function, and then I want to do a setupdb. I will go to setupdb, and here from utils, import query DuckDB, and then I will do query DuckDB, and basically here I will put in my SQL code, create table if not exist movies. What do I want the movies to contain? A title is a good start, as a text or string or varchar, same thing. Year as integer. Genre as, let's see, text. And we have rating. I will put it into tiny ints because this will be very small numbers. Semicolon. Here I do query DuckDB. I use this convenience function. We can just run it. Source, we do setupdb. We do uv run setupdb.py. And you can see it has created a movies.duckdb. To check that out, we can do something like duckdb data/movies.duckdb. And we can do this. And you can see, yeah, we have the movies here. Title, year, genre, rating. From movies, and we should get nothing, no rows. Yes, great. Control D to close down the connection. Now we have set up our DuckDB database. What we want to do now is data models. I want to make sure that we get our data models correct. From Pydantic, import base model and field, and we'll have class movie. This inherits from base model. It's a base model. Title string year. Year is an int. And genre is a string. Rating is an int. And here I will have fields. Greater equals 0. Less than equals to 6. I want to have 0, 1 to 5. Class will have a prompt as well. This is also a base model. And here we have prompt as a string. Now it's time to create our API. For the movies API, to create an API is very simple. You take from FastAPI, import FastAPI. From PydanticAI, import agent. Actually, we could also have a setup agent in a separate script. But since it's simple, I will keep it in the API script. From .env, import load.env. From utils, import query DuckDB. From data models, import movie and front. And then we start with loading.env, that we have our Google API key available because our agent will require it. Agent equals agent, model equals to Google, actually they have 3 here, pro preview. Let's try that one. This is new. I haven't tried it before. Auto type. What should the auto type be? I want it to be my movie. This is my movie model. And here I will do app equals to FastAPI. And what I want to do is app.get/movie. This will return all my movies. Async def. Async is not needed because in FastAPI it's async by default. However, async is it's quite nice to clearly mark that this is an API endpoint. Read movies, movies equals to query DuckDB. From movies, you're maybe used to like doing select star from movies, but in DuckDB, you can just type from movies and it will work as select star from movies. And a return movies dot to tick orient equals to records. That means the movies, we know it's a data frame. When we return it, it will make it into a dict and we will have the orient as records. Let's try this out. UVcorn. Actually, I cannot run UVcorn. I need to run UVcorn. Movies app -reload. I made a mistake before, one that was very costly for me in terms of time. Like I forgot to type in the reload, which made, when I changed the API, I was very frustrated why it didn't make the changes that I wanted to. But I forgot to type in the reload. It became a lot of messages back and forth to different LLMs, which couldn't solve my problem, of course. I'll run this one. And I will open up my UVcorn. Here it is. I open this one like this, divide into 2, Command B. Detail not found, of course, because I don't have anything at home. But if I do /movies, we get internal server error because no module named NumPy. Let's fix that. Control C. We need pandas because pandas will install NumPy as well. UV add pandas and then UV run UVcorn. Let's see, movies API :app --reload. Now you can see, let's see, movies. Yeah, it works. You can see it's empty here. So if I mean a little bit, you can see it's empty. And it's empty because basically we don't have anything here yet. Let's post some data. App.post /movie. Here it means that I will post a movie here. And we'll do async that creates movie query as prompt results equals to awaits. What am I waiting for? I'm awaiting for my agent dot run. And here I will do query. The query is the thing that I get in, and I do query dot prompt because our prompt has a prompt field, which is a string. And then we'll have movie is equal to results dot output. If you've watched my previous video, you will understand what all this does, because basically the result is what we get back from the agent, and then afterwards we do result dot output to get the output. And now our output should be in the form of the Pydantic model. It should be in the form of a movie model or movie. What we want to do now is to take that and query DuckDB. Or basically, I can show you what I mean. I can just return movie and we'll see. I will go in here /docs. And this is the Swagger UI. And we can go into movie and try to post something. Try it out. Give me a cool soccer and kung fu movie. Hope it will give me Shaolin soccer. Let's see. There is actually an error here, which we can see. Yeah. Gemini Read Pro. Yeah, maybe it's the free tier that it cannot take, but I'll just change it. Let's see. There's 2.5 left. Yeah, that should be. Let me try this one. Execute this one. Yeah, Shaolin Soccer. Nice. Shaolin Soccer, year 2001. Genre, sports comedy, kung fu. Rating 4. Yeah, I would say rating 5, but yeah, the LLM thinks rating 4. That is fine for me. You can see we have this dictionary. If we have this dictionary, we can easily just input it. This is quite it's structured data. We can do query DuckDB. However, to make sure that we put in things that are safe, I will do insert into movies and then values, question mark, and this comma, not the dot, comma. And I will put in my parameters. Parameters are basically parameters. I will have a tuple of movie dot title, movie dot year, movie dot genre, movie dot rating. That is it. And now I will execute this again. Let's see if we get Shaolin Soccer again. Give me a cool, yeah, Shaolin Soccer again. Nice. That means that I've now, you see, I got these details back, and this means that this should put in the data into our DuckDB database. Let's choose something else. A futuristic AI movie about a robot that tends to be a human and make the human fall in love. Something like this. Let's see what it comes up with. Yeah, I was thinking about her. Title, her, year 2013, genre sci-fi, rating 5. Nice. Let's do one more. I'll be back. What did it find? The Terminator, 1984, sci-fi, rating 5. Nice. Let's go into our get endpoint and try it out. Execute. And you can see, this is our response body. Let us just try out. We have this URL here. We can just copy this URL, paste it in here, and this is our data. Cool. This means that if we can connect this FastAPI into a front end of our choice, and we could consume this JSON data without problems, and we can, for example, use some kind of JavaScript front end and consume this and make a really nice on this. Super cool that this works. I will close this down, Control C, and you can see this doesn't work anymore. I will just take a look into my data. If I do DuckDB data/movies, DuckDB, and I do from movies, and you can see this is our database now. We have populated it with a few data points. The rating became 5 after when the second time I ran. Strange. Or not strange, it's fine. I will do Control D to close this down. Make sure that you git ignore your API key or your .env. And then afterwards, you should commit and push this code to your repository. Super cool. In this video, we have created a FastAPI application, very simple one with a post endpoint and a get endpoint. And in the post endpoint, you could put in natural language, and after that, it will automatically change it to create a movie based on the movie model, which is a Pydantic base model. And after we have created this Pydantic model, then we could easily put it into our DB database. Very cool. And then when we used the get endpoint, we were able to read all the data in JSON format. That is super cool. This means that you could connect this API to a front end of your choice, and it's possible to build applications where you have this model in the background. I hope that you learned a lot in this video, and thank you. See you in the next one. Bye.